My name's Tom from Acres of Adventure, and my wife Chelsea, my kids Melina, Delilah, and Theo. We all decided about 2 years ago to move out to a more rural setting and just start living more self-sustainable and wanting to start a small farm slash homestead. And we wanted to see what we were capable of doing. Now we are super close to about 2 years of being out here, and we are up to 24 chickens, 2 pigs, 2 dogs, 1 cat, 1 rabbit, and a garden. And I thought, since we've been doing so many new crazy things for us out here, and our homestead seems to be changing so much, especially from the first year now to our second year, I figured let's give you guys a tour about our whole property here and everything and how we got it to where it is today. Come along and let's see what we got here. Snowflake. Hey. No. Come on. Don't jump. Go back. Come on. Alright, well, I guess our chickens are telling us we'll start with their area. So we have about 2.5 acres on our property. Our chickens probably own about maybe a 1/4 acre for their chicken run. There's fencing right there, and it starts and then it goes. You can see there's their chicken coop, and then it goes all the way just a little past their chicken coop back there. It was a big deal to us to have our chickens free range. One of the main reasons of moving out here, other than being more self-sustainable, was making sure that we felt like the food that we were going to be producing ourselves was healthier. Although we have this big run for them now, just last year it wasn't like that. If you can see this whole area that doesn't have any grass right here, that was the first spot that we ever had our chickens. We had them in one of those just like little small coops that you can buy from like any of your farm stores. And because we had them during winter time and it was our first time, we were afraid to kind of make a free range spot for them and put up any kind of fencing because we figured it was going to be cold for them. We didn't want that. Then the more we got with chickens, we realized that they can handle those temperatures. So from them being in one of those little coops, then we finally made them a little free range spot so that they can kind of be around, but not too much. Then they went from doing that to being able to free range our whole backyard because we didn't own a garden at that point. And then we realized that we had to kind of get them in their spot that we were gonna have them, because we are gonna have a garden and you don't want chickens in your garden. So we were able to put up this whole entire fence line here, give them their space that we wanted. And now occasionally we still have a few breakouts, which you guys already got to see. The next thing I wanted to show you guys that's inside the chicken run is our chicken coop here. So a chicken coop, like I explained before, but like the first one that we brought home, is a big deal because it's the housing that you're going to be putting your chickens in. A lot of you guys have asked questions about our chicken coop, asking where we bought it, how we built it, and we bought it locally from somebody else who made it. So this isn't something that you can buy from a store or order or anything like that. We have absolutely loved it. It is very spacious. It can hold all 14 chickens that we have in this area right now, super easy. I think we could probably fit another 11. I bet that kind of maxes out around 25 before you start hitting some room. It has a nesting box on the outside, which is nice for collecting eggs. You don't have to go inside and look through anything. You can just open up from the outside. And we put an automatic coop door for the one side, and then we have a big door for the other side that we can access, so we can go in there and clean, and that makes it super easy. But the automatic coop door is nice. We don't gotta let them out in the morning, and we don't gotta lock them up at night, more importantly. And if you keep following along here inside the chicken run, you will make it to our compost bin over here. We decided to add this compost bin in our chicken run because we heard such good things about feeding your chickens kitchen scraps, and then they'll just scratch around. They don't eat what's not good for them. So anything else that they leave and they don't eat, that will just sit in that compost bin, giving it time to compost. Also, because it's in our chicken run, every time we clean out our chicken coop, we can easily slide it over, dump it right into the compost bin. And anytime we have extra grass clippings from cutting the grass, throw it over into the compost bin. And it makes it so easy to just conveniently use it that we've absolutely loved putting it in the chicken run. It has been wonders, and we've been able to use it for our garden plenty of times. And right now I'm still working on the fancy feeding or water system for them. So their feed's right outside here on the fence. There's their water, there's their eating station, and we just give it to them right over here through the fence. Although having chickens was one of the things I was most excited for when we decided to start living like this, this might be one of my new favorite spots on the homestead. Let me show you guys our garden. We have been putting in so much work over this past month, but it's actually been almost before winter started to get our garden to be where it's at today. And we absolutely love it and cannot wait to see what comes from it. But our first year gardening, it wasn't like this. This is all add-on. The only thing that we grew out of last year was these 5 garden beds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This green stalk planter here, and then these 3 grow bags. So this year we knew we wanted to plant a lot more. So I made 3 new beds. We have 1, 2, 3, plus all this in-ground gardening. We have 1 row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then in the back here where there's some wood chips, we have potatoes that we've already actually just started putting into the ground yesterday. These little cement pavers we're thinking are gonna be like a little walkway in between each aisle, but we haven't fully decided if we want to yet, so now we're kind of just giving it a look and deciding, is this what we're gonna wanna do with it? I am super excited. I absolutely love the look of our garden. It is so nice and so appealing to come out and look at. If this is something that you want to do, whether it's chickens or gardening, you want to make it where you enjoy how it looks. I know a lot of people, and me especially, will be like, well, you know what, if it works, it's good, which I find still 100% true. But if you can make something look nice, why not? Because you're going to be the one that's looking at it every single day. Gardening for us has definitely been something new. The first year brought its challenges that we had to learn and adapt, figure out what was easy to grow, what wasn't, what needs to grow next to what. And hopefully this year, we make a few more mistakes, because that's how you're gonna learn. If you can see, we do already have some greens popping out of a lot of these beds. Chelsea put some peas in here, some carrots in here, and then same thing on this side, peas and carrots. And to be honest, I'm not really sure what's in these 2 beds. I think Chelsea just put them in yesterday. And then we have our garlic growing here in this last bed, which is absolutely looking great. I cannot wait to get that. That is something that we grew before the winter started. We've been putting a lot of work to get this garden to look like this. This isn't something that we just did here in the last 2 days, put it together and here it is. This is something that's been a long plan. It started by putting our 2 pigs actually in this area before we had anything down here. It was just grass, and we used them as tillers to help till up that whole ground so that we didn't have to rent a tiller or buy one. After that, we put our chickens onto that ground so that they could help fertilize it, scratch it up, try to get it a little more even. After that, we put some leaves down. Then we had dirt get ordered. We had to put all that dirt down in the nice rows for us so that we could get ready to plant in there. And then it's been a whole lot of man and woman power to get this thing to where it's at now by hauling a ton of wood chips over here, dumping them out, spreading them out. Chelsea's been having the old green thumb here and has been absolutely growing beautiful stuff already, and I'm thinking we are gonna have a great harvest come summertime. You can probably see in the background in a lot of those shots, you see this big old clear tarp hoop thing. So this is our makeshift greenhouse. This is our hoop coop that we originally got delivered for when we had a flock of 5 chickens that we were gonna try to move in this. After they were done using it, we just threw it in the chicken run, put a big dark tarp over it so the chickens had shade during the summertime. After that, we took that big dark tarp off and then we put this clear tarping on. And then we gave it to the chickens for wintertime so they could get away from the cold, and then let this tarp kind of absorb the sun's heat so they could stay warmer during the winter. And now we kept the clear tarping, decided that we were gonna throw our plants in it, and we've been getting a lot of use out of this good old hoop coop here. I will say before I go on to the next spot on our property, talking about chickens and gardening, and a lot of you guys might get very overwhelmed if you've never done it before and you haven't taken care of them. Well, that was the same boat we were in. We've never had experience taking care of chickens or pigs. We've never grown anything in our garden. We didn't have family members that taught us how to do this. This was all something that we've been self-teaching ourselves and trying the best we can. And of course, we've watched YouTube videos like you guys are right now, and we've been trying to teach ourselves the best we can. And as we've been doing that, we've learned a lot from a lot of people on YouTube, even though we've never met them. And that made us stumble across this community that kind of made a social network for homesteading. And it's called Abundance Plus. If you guys haven't heard about this, I'd at least take the chance to check it out if I was you. We were watching YouTubers like Roots and Refuge, Justin Rhodes, Sow the Land, Fit Farmer, and many other more. I won't be able to state them all, and if I did, it would go on for another minute. And what was surprising is that all these YouTubers that I've been learning from or have actually been making content for this Abundance Plus networking, and it has been beyond what you would find on YouTube. They go in detail, show you everything that you need for certain steps for gardening, building any kind of structures on your property, how to process chickens for the first time. Anything that you couldn't find on YouTube, they threw it all onto this like social network platform. And if that wasn't enough, they have this community tab where you can find other people who are members that are in your area, so you can find like-minded people that are around you. And that is just an awesome feature, so that you can find people around you who can help out and have any questions, or if you need a helping hand on your homestead. If that's something that interests you guys, then I do believe you should at least look into it. And if you want 10% off, we have a coupon code called Adventure10. Type that in when you go to checkout, and you can do it for any of the packages and you'll get 10% off. So look into it if you guys want. Let's go on and go see the pigs. Alright, so for our pigs, like I just explained with the garden, the very first spot that we put them in, we had them up front so they could till out that area for our garden. But after that, we knew that we were going to want to raise them in our woods. And as they eat, I'll kind of walk around so you guys can kind of see it. So all this stuff is now starting to grow back this spring. We actually have had these pigs here before, and we just moved them, and I'll show you guys the previous spot they were in. And as you can see, they will completely wipe out and clean out an area. And that's why we have them here in the woods. We want them to eat any shrubs, brubs, grubs, whatever else ends with ubs. We want them to root up things, so make it easier to clear this land so that we can access it for something else in the future. Since we're moving our pigs a lot here in the woods, we want to make sure that we have a nice fencing that we can keep moving very freely and easily to move them to their next spot. This poly wire, and all you need is these two little strands, and it just gives the pigs a little hey wake up if they bump into it, and then they know not to. And that has definitely been very helpful. Since we've had this wire, we've had no breakouts, and the pigs have been so much easier to take care of because of it. A pig breaking out is a big deal, or a pig deal. I know, sorry, it might not be that funny to you. But we love having these pigs in the woods. They have been a crazy experience for us. It's crazy to think how big they look now and how small they were when we first brought them here. I will tell you what, so our pigs are Mangalista pigs. So they have a little extra fur on them. They do really good during cold seasons, which is perfect since we're from Michigan. But they have been a lot more friendly than I expected. Whenever I heard about pigs, I always heard about pigs being these scary animals and they'll eat you. And although they might, if you were to lay down and pass out by them, these guys have loved us. They will come up to you. They want to be pet. I've even been able to give them belly rubs. So do be careful, because I do try not to get too attached, but I mean, look at these guys. How can you not love them? So if you can see, we kind of have everything all together, like in one big line. So the pigs are in the woods here, and then if you keep going, there's the chicken run, and then there's the garden. We have it all on this side. That makes it so nice to use things together. We can pull things from the garden and throw it over to the pigs. We can pull things from the garden and throw them into the compost bin or to the chickens. We can use all that chicken manure and bedding that we put in our compost, get it out of the compost and put it into our garden. And it makes it so easy for everything to communicate together here on our homestead. I don't know if that's really what we were technically going for at first, but we kind of fell into it and we absolutely love the setup that we're coming up with here. So you can see we have some of our berry bushes all planted along this fence line in the back of our property. And those still have a few years before we start getting any kind of fruit from them. We do have a raspberry bush that does produce. But in front of those berry bushes, this whole piece of our land right here, we use for our chicken tractor for when we raise our own meat, when we have our chickens here. So that's the egg laying flock. And then any of the chickens that are gonna be inside this chicken tractor here, which you can see, like I said, it's operating this area, this land here, are usually ones we're raising for meat. Except our chickens that we're going to be raising for meat this year have not come in yet. They come in a couple weeks. So this is our young flock that we actually just hatched out a little over 6 weeks ago. How you guys doing? This guy's definitely a rooster because he comes to attack me every time I come in. How are you already being like that? Since we had the empty chicken tractor here on the back of this property, and we had these young chickens that I wanted to wait just a little bit before we introduced to this egg-laying flock over here, and then they'll combine, and then we'll have all 24 chickens in the same spot. I figured, why not throw them in there while we wait these next couple weeks for the meat birds to arrive? That'll allow them to get a little bit bigger, adjust to them being outside here. Plus, I just built this chicken tractor, so I wanted to try it out and see how it works and make sure that it's gonna work good for when the birds come. And let me show you guys a quick pull here so you can see. I didn't want to pull it too far because I actually already pulled them to a fresh piece of pasture this morning. And that's the reason that you have a chicken tractor, is that so every day or every 2 days, you can pull it along to a fresh piece of grass so that they're not sitting in their same poop. And also they're getting that fresh green pasture so you can raise the best meat that you could possibly do. See you later, chickens. From that corner, if you were to keep following, we have a fire pit, hammock, and then you have the kids' play area, and then if you keep walking, it gets you back to the back of our house and our deck here, which we actually just installed a little sunshade there on the back of the deck, which has been great for us to get out a little bit of sun. And that is about all of our main property here outside. I was gonna show you guys on the inside. I know a lot of you guys have been asking and wanting to see, but I'm gonna do that for a whole separate video because there's something I kind of want to explain about it and show about it that I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to keep throwing into this video, or I'd make it way too long. If you guys have any questions about how we're doing anything here, please feel free to comment them below. We love answering your guys' questions when you have them. And if you have any comments about things that we're doing wrong or things that you feel like we can incorporate to help us, please comment those too. We take constructive criticism here very easily, so I don't mind it. If you want to bash something, go bash it below. I'll read it and then I'll see if that's something I want to change. As always, guys, have a great day and a better tomorrow, and go out there and make a difference, guys. See you later.